But in addition to changing the content and the interpretation of the Constitution, we also tend to ignore certain parts. For example, the Three-Fifths clause, or the Three-Fifths compromise in the US Constitution that I mentioned earlier, has technically never been repealed. However, it has been rendered inoperable by subsequent amendments. There are even parts of the Constitution that cap populations within congressional districts that are just no longer feasible because of the growth in the US population. But regardless, the Constitution is a document that, for all its flaws, has proven remarkably enduring. The founders would be shocked, most likely, to discover that 240 years later, this country is still operating under the same document that they wrote over 2 centuries ago. As a matter of fact, Thomas Jefferson once famously suggested that there should be a constitutional convention held every 19 years. That way, every subsequent generation could have a voice in creating their own their own governing document. Until the day that happens, however, this is the Constitution under which we are currently operating. And I strongly encourage you to familiarize yourself with it. Read an article a day, if need be, or a section a day, and really familiarize yourself with at least the organization of the Constitution. I don't want you to be one of those people that claims that any law or policy that they don't like is unconstitutional simply because you don't like it or you don't like what it implies. Justice Antonin Scalia once famously said, like Thomas Jefferson famously said, the thing about constitutional conventions, Justice Antonin Scalia once famously said, he wished that he had a stamp that said, stupid but constitutional. Because he took the viewpoint that there were a lot of laws and policies that government entities might make, whether they be city governments or state governments, that perhaps are not good policy, but are perfectly within their powers under the Constitution. Because the Constitution is a very broad and at times vague document. And it's up to those in power and those who participate, even as a citizen, to determine the nature of how our government interprets the Constitution. It's hardly this finite thing that's set in stone. At least that's not how it has been implemented. And so I'll leave you with those to think about. Read the corresponding chapter in the textbook. It goes into a lot more detail than I do on the video. If you have any questions regarding any of the material in these videos, please let me know, and until next time.